Welcome back to Center Stage. ESPN broadcaster Donovan McNabb is here. Okay, so the 99 NFL draft, you get taken with the second pick of the first round by the Eagles. What a great moment. And you get booed. What did that feel like?
You know, it's funny. People just seen the TV copy of it. They booed me in the beginning as well when they introduced everybody in the green room. And I thought it was actually pretty funny. You know,
really did
other
look at the humor of
other
it?
players didn't know what were going on at that particular time. But they seen me laughing, so they kind of laughed. And that's kind of how I've been just through life. I'll smile, but I'll take into account what happened and, you know, put it in the back of my mind and prove you wrong. And when my name was called for the actual draft, my mom started crying a little bit. My dad just kind of looked at me because he understood my approach and my attitude.
Your mom cried because of the booze? Because
of the booze. It's kind of an embarrassing moment for your kid to go through.
And for those that don't know, the Eagle fans are booing because they wanted them to pick Ricky Williams.
And so, I laughed it off and, looked at my brother. My brother pretty much said it's time. Time to go show him. And so, we look forward to that opportunity.
Did you think it was a good fit for you football-wise?
I had no choice.
Right.
I wasn't Eli Manning to have my dad say he's not going there.
Right.
So they probably would just listen to my dad and be like, all right, shut up. But, as far as good fit is concerned, I got a chance to sit down with Andy Reid,
and that was the first
who
year
became
coach.
The head coach for Philadelphia. And his process and his path for me, I didn't agree with in the beginning because every rookie wants to start. But knowing that he coached a guy like Brett Favre and the success that he had and the success that they had in Green Bay, looking back on it and going into my second year, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Now, your first professional start was on September 19th, 1999. It was a 19-5 home loss against Tampa Bay. What do you remember about that game?
Looking across the field and seeing Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Derrick Brooks, guys that I watched in college, and while I was in college and they were in the pros, watched them pretty much dominate. And they did that game.
They sacked you 6 times.
Yeah, and probably could have been 9 or 10 if I didn't run.
Now, you came in for Doug Peterson, who is now the coach of the Eagles. Right. When you came in, did you say, I can play in this league, or did you have any doubts after such a
There
rough
was no
game?
doubts, but, I think for all rookies, you want to stay confident in yourself. I knew the game was faster, and as I came in sparingly during different games, I knew that I would have to adjust quickly. And the experience would come with more and more reps. And Andy would always tell me that, hey, you'll get more and more reps as we continue on with this thing. Just stay patient.
Now, 2000, you end up taking the starting job from Doug.
Right.
You completed 330 out of 569 passes, 3,365 yards, 21 TDs. You ran for 629 yards and 6 TDs. Overall, were you happy with your first starting season? And the Eagles were 11-5.
We were 11-5, and we lost in the second round of the playoffs. So no.
To the Giants, right?
Yeah, to those Giants. And I just remembered that season because I think that season they end up losing in the Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
So I felt like we could beat the Giants. And then I watched the NFC Championship game where I know we could have beat, I think they might have played the Minnesota Vikings at that particular time.
Yeah.
I knew we could have beat the Minnesota Vikings. And so now that kind of drove me to work harder throughout that offseason.
Next year, repeat success. This time you make it all the way to the NFC Championship game against Kurt Warner's St. Louis Rams. You had a 17-13 halftime lead, end up losing the game 29-24. What did you take away from that one?
It's 2 halves of football. You watch a great team. They were the greatest show of turf for that particular time. Yep. That's when it all started. And you watch a great team and their adjustments from first half to second. We were dominating them in the first half offensively. We left some points out on the board in the first half, came out in the second half, and they completely changed their offense. We were trying to figure it out. We got ourselves back in it, but realizing that was a great team we were playing.
Donovan, there's a lot of success early for you. Did you win over the Philly fans by then?
Yes and no. Philadelphia's opinionated. They always have their opinion. They express it. They have sports talk radio that they love to get on and say if they love you or they don't. But I don't pay much attention to that. We all hear it, but I don't pay attention to it.
Now, the Eagles did sign into a very lucrative long-term contract, 12 years, $115 million with a $20.5 million bonus.
Did you have to bring that up?
It's a nice contract.
It was.
Now, I don't know the means of your dad and mom when you were growing up, but I'm sure $115 million is a lot of money for anybody.
Are you asking, did I give any money to my parents?
No, I wouldn't ask that. Did you? What was it like? I mean, to have all that money.
I mean, it was a dream come true. But I didn't look at it like, hey, I just got paid, I'm rich, I'm done. No, that made me hungrier. My motivation is to be the best at everything that I do. When it's all said and done, I wanted people to say, you know what, when I walk past you, say, you know what, he was the best.
Now, with that money, did you feel extra pressure to win a Super Bowl?
No.
You didn't?
Because I already had pressure on my shoulders to win a Super Bowl. We had just played in the NFC Championship. We had played in the second round and lost the year before that. My first year, watching us go 5-11, it was like a process. So I always felt like the next step from the NFC Championship is to win the Super Bowl. And so each year we kept going to the NFC Championship, I felt like this is it, this is it, this is it. And we ended up getting there. We didn't win it, but there's a process in winning this. Not everybody's rewarded of winning a championship.
Did you give your parents any money?
No.
No?
No, just kidding. It wasn't just me doing this. My whole family is my supporting cast, and we all were rewarded with it.
Cool. Now, before we go to break, we play a little game here called Did You Ever?
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Always.
All right. Did you ever steal anything?
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
All right. Did you ever eat an entire pizza?
Yes.
Did you ever get called frugal or even less than frugal by a teammate?
Yes.
Are you frugal?
Yes.
Are you cheap?
No, I don't use frugal.
You use cheap?
Economically wise.
Now, isn't that a really smart lesson that your dad taught you, though? A lot of players throw their money away, and your dad said, don't be so fast to do that?
That was a little bit of the whole family. It wasn't just my dad. I mean, I've always been that way. If you give me $20, I'm going to have the $20 in the next couple months.
Did you ever want to punch an opponent in the mouth?
Yes.
Who was that?
A lot of people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever ride the New York City subway system?
No.
Never?
No.
You should do it today.
I'll pass.
All right. Very successful guy, good-looking guy. You ever walk past a mirror, wink, and go, yeah, I got it going on?
No need for a wink. Shoot the guns at yourself.
Did you ever pull stick named Excalibur?
I don't call it Excalibur.
What is it called?
Killer.
Killer?
Yeah.
And you don't let anybody touch that pool
No.
stick?
No.
Only fingerprints on it, yours?
Mine.
Are you a good pool player?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But, hey, you fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah. I'm living the dream right here. Did you ever make a TV commercial with your mom?
Yes.
And how'd that work out?
Oh, great.
That was a Campbell's soup, right?
We're still the face of Campbell's.
Because some of the guys had moms that weren't their moms. They were actresses, right?
There were actresses before us, and after us, the real moms were used. Good-looking crew right there.
Yeah. Was she good right away?
Oh, she was outstanding.
Yeah?
She's a natural.
Good stuff. Donovan and his mom going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl. We make that trip when we return on Center Stage.